Hello and welcome to EDLM 805. This is Catherine Salazar, and I will be discussing transformative leadership in education. The learning outcome for this lesson is to inspire future school leaders and managers and act as effective agents of instructional and curricular change. According to Shields, transformative leadership begins with questions of justice and democracy, not for individual gain, but for a better life lived in common with others. Thus, she argued that transformative leadership and leadership for inclusive and socially just learning environments are inextricably related. The transformative approaches in education leads to the development of different concepts, such as transformative classroom, transformative instructional materials, transformative teaching, but the most dominant is transformative learning theory. Initially, it is described and focuses on individual learning prompted by self-reflection as a tool for deep and lasting personal change. Then later expands to deconstruct and reconstruct knowledge frameworks, as well as to develop an appreciation of our own culture and the associated privileges and powers. This is also explained as it involves the acquisition or manipulation of knowledge that disrupts prior learning and stimulates the reflective reshaping of deeply ingrained knowledge and belief structures. Transformative learning theory is also related to increased gender equity and transformative gender justice, as well as emphasizing the progress through a dynamic pathway of stages to final reintegration of a new frame of reference. Now, what is the development of transformative leadership in education as a theory? Firstly, as a developing theory. Transformative leadership in the beginning as a theory has developed in ways that are congruent with the uses of transformation and transformative learning in other fields of social science and education that emphasized purposeful moral leadership. Transformative leaders in education are described as critically educative. They can't only look at the conditions in which we live in, but they must also decide how to change them. Additionally, these educational leaders should be transformative intellectual, who encourages social justice and transcend the intellectual bias in democratic schooling for all students and staff. On the latter part, transformative leadership matured, where it is now considered as a theory of critic and possibility. This theory in education has always been grounded in the twin concepts of critic and possibility, and also believed to be individual and collective in nature. To explain, this theory as applied in education is a representation of exercising power and authority through questioning justice and democracy, then moving forward to dialectic between individual, accountability, and social responsibility. And then, the responsibilities of transformative educational leaders are instigate in structural transformations, reorganize the political space, and understand the relationship between leaders, and then lead dialectically and not hierarchically. Another thing, leaders in education who are transformative have the learn and unlearn power to reach beyond the fear of authority toward a concrete vision of the work in which oppression, violence, and brutality are transformed by a commitment to equality, liberty, and democratic struggle. As Astin and Astin identifies the value ends of leadership in transformative leadership in education, first, enhance equity, social justice, and quality of life. Second, expand access and opportunity. Third, encourage respect for difference and diversity. Fourth, strengthen democracy, civic life, and civic responsibility. And finally, promote cultural enrichment, creative expression, intellectual honesty, the advancement of knowledge, and personal freedom coupled with responsibility. To summarize the key ideas of transformative leadership theory in education, it is the essential work of the educational leader to create learning context or communities in which social, political, and cultural capital is enhanced in such a way as to provide equity of opportunity for students as they take their place as contributing members of society. And transformative leaders who focus on both critic and promise act courageously and continuously to ensure more equitable learning environments and pedagogical practices for all children. Thank you for listening on this first part of this video. Up next is Transforming Schools to further explain this discussion.